Hi, and welcome to my Tuesday evening live card making tutorial. So this evening I have for you a DIY seed packet gift card holder, really adorable, with the Grow with Love bundle. This is a last chance bundle, and get the stamp set and the dies separately because you'll save even more. The stamp sets are just kind of 10% and the dies, I believe, 40%. So make sure you order them separately. And not only are they last chance, stamp sets in low inventory. So once you see this, you're going to want to run on over to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. So let me start by introducing myself. I'm Shelly Godby. And for 24 years, I've been teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles through my YouTube videos, my Stamping Smiles blog, and my mailing list. And Miss Cheryl, well, good evening. All right. So how about we have a closer look at the Grow with Love bundle? And again, I'm going to encourage you to order them separately to save even more money. All right, so here's the Grow with Love stamp set, the QR code, and it's listed under the video if you're on YouTube or my Stamping Smiles blog. And so 20% off. And so you have the 4 different herbs, the frame that die cuts, and some greetings. All right. And so then let's look at this. So you have this seed envelope. Very cool. Wait till you see it. Okay, let me show you the dies. There we go. And see, look at that, from 37 down to 22.20. Holy smokes, big savings. So this we will be using, and this, and then look, you've got dies for all of the herbs. And what I like is they don't die cut the name of the herb as well. So that's really nice because it just gives you more flexibility. Okay, so let's see who else is here. Miss Gina is here. Hello, hello, hello. All right. And so then a couple label dies and these to make your closure. And this die cuts the Grown with Love in the little circle. And let me also show you um, that I have my die stored on one of these magnet cards. Well, actually 2. There are so many dies. I've got them on 2 magnet cards. And I just love these because, well, I can see them, but the magnets are super strong. The dies they don't fall off, but they're easy enough for me to get off. It's a really great combination. And then I store them in one of these pockets. Now, this sounds like a Stampin' Up product. It is not. It's a separate company called Stampin' Storage. And so those were the QR codes and the links to pick those up to get everything very nicely organized. And so I can see what's in them as I flip through. Okay, so I wanted you to see that. And let me bring this back. There we go. All right. So we've got some stamping to do, but let me show you this Grow with Love. I did this back in May. This was one of a sample from Stampin' Up, and actually what I'm doing this evening is one of theirs. They just did such beautiful stuff with this. I just love this card, and I had to remake it. So you see all of those herbs, and then they used fresh freesia just as an accent. It wasn't in the herbs, but for that cardstock and then for the embellishments. Isn't that pretty? So this is that, on that greeting is that largest label die. So I thought, oh, I want to be able to show you all that. Okay. And there we go. And let's get this back the way it's supposed to be. There. Yay. Life is good. Okay. And Miss Rhonda is here. Hello. And Miss Denise is here. Fantastic. Oh, so good to see you all. And as you're all checking in, I just love it when you come in and chit chat with us. Please give my video a thumbs up and a share. It doesn't cost you a penny, just a quick flip of your wrist, and because this is my business and that helps. Okay, so we've got some stamping to do before we start die cutting. And what I have here is some basic white cardstock because whenever you're stamping on white cardstock, you absolutely want to use the Stampin' Up! Basic white cardstock. It has a smooth, tight finish to give you crisp, clean images. Oh, and Miss Sherry is here. Oh, fantastic. Nice group tonight. Did a couple at the end of the week with little notice, very little notice. I just decided, oh, let's go ahead and do these videos. All right, so did I tell you I'm going to show you 3 others when I'm done? So we're going to make one, and then I have 3 others to show you. So we'll end up with all of the herbs by the time the evening is over. So what I have here is the Lost Lagoon Classic Stampin' Pad. Why Lost Lagoon? Well, that's because I'm going to use the Timeless Plaid 6x6 Designer Series paper. This paper, it has been so popular, but I can understand why. I mean, it's great, but it's especially great to have something for the guys, isn't it? I mean, not that we can't use it for other things. I mean, our seed packets definitely will be for, I would think, not necessarily women, but women in mind. And but nice to have something for the guys. Look at these colors in here. And they look like flannel shirts to me. Oh, that's where this one was. Okay, there we go. So I'm showing you side A and B. Okay. And so what's really cool about these seed packets, they're perfectly sized to hold a gift card. And isn't that something we just need a lot of? My gracious. Aren't these gorgeous? Wow. Like I said, a lot of these look like the flannel shirts my dad and brothers wore. And so I'm just showing you each of the patterns. You get a whole lot more than what I'm showing you, more than one of each sheet, probably 4 of each sheet. Oh, these are so pretty. Oh, that should have been, there we go. Beautiful. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I showed these to you because they are fabulous. And that one, I think I must have used, and I don't know that I have the back, but there's the B side. Okay, so we'll be using the Timeless Plaid, and that's how I chose my colors. Well, besides, I am making it like they did. So, Lost Lagoon Classic Stampin' Pad. We're going to pick this up and slide that in. And so I was talking to my girlfriend. I said, I was busy, working on my share. I said, would you do me a favor and please look through the Last Chance products? I don't know that my sweet stampers have given that list a good look. And she said, well, the Grow with Love is on there. Like, oh yeah, I just really like that. And she loved the seed packets. Like, yeah, I can do that. They are, the projects are, I fell in love with that card, but wait till you see all these seed packets that will become gift card holders. And then, oh, isn't that pretty? And so that we've got a die to die cut that with that fancy little border. So we'll push. Oh, you know what? We are not done with this. Okay, so I still need this, and I will need. All right, so Stampin' Up! Made the announcement that we're going to move away from red rubber. Red rubber. Starting with the November online exclusives release, it'll be all photopolymer from there out. And a big part of that was just not able to get the raw materials because, Stampin' Up! Makes their own stamps. And so that's a move they're going to make. And then they announced how, since we're moving away from red rubber, all of the Stampin' Write markers immediately went to the Last Chance list. I'm going to miss them. I can't say I use them all the time, but when I do, I really like them. And I used them on 2 of the seed packets, and we're going to use one right now because I was looking at their sample to copy it because it just really, they all caught my eye, but this is the one I chose to do. And so what I have here is the Mossy Meadow from the Regals Stampin' Write markers. Now they're on the Last Chance, not discounted. The only ones discounted, and that's only through the end of August, are the 25, 27 in colors. So I'm going to ink this up on the Lost Lagoon. I'm done with that. and then take my Stampin' Write marker to get two-tone. I'm just going to add some color in here. I'll huff to revitalize that ink and stamp. And so now I've got Lost Lagoon and Mossy Meadow like they had. And this just added so much. I had it just stamped in Lost Lagoon. And then, yeah, here we go, in just Lost Lagoon. No, that's not it. I guess I threw it away. But then when I added, like they did, some of the Mossy Meadow, it's like, oh, wow, awesome. So hopefully I remember to show you what else I did with this. There's more than just coloring. All right, and so then I have some crumb cake cardstock. And for this, I need the Mossy Meadow Classic Stampin' Pad. Pick that up, slide that in, and we have You're on My Mind included in the Grow with Love stamp set. Oh, Miss Judy is here, and Miss Danette is here. Wow, what a great group. Okay, all right, so let's ink this up. Now, this doesn't have that smooth, tight finish as the Basic White and Very Vanilla, but we're still going to go ahead and use it because that's what they did in their sample. So I kept inking. I'm going to hold this down a little extra long because I'm on a darker color. You're on my mind. Okay, because we will use the label die for that. So our stamping is done. So what I need is my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And it is right here. Oh. There we go. And push this out of the way so you'll be able to see better what I'm doing. All right. And so, oh, I need to show you. Okay, so what I need for the thin metal dies is plate number 1 and plate number 2 that comes with it. But I just always prefer to use, whenever I'm using the magnetic dies, my magnetic platform. And I picked this up on Amazon, and there's the code if you'd like to pick one up too. And you see all those circles? Well, those are the magnets. So it's not one solid magnet, but you find those magnets on there. And here we go. And so regardless if I use this, but this makes up the difference of the plate number 1 and plate number 2. It's the same thickness, this for those two. I need a plate number 3, a cutting plate. There we go. And our stamped cardstock. We need our dies. And I may not be able to do these at the same time because I need them, to hit a magnet. So I've learned just to drop the die and take the cardstock to the magnets instead of trying to force the magnet to wherever I happen to put the cardstock. Okay, it's looking pretty decent for me. Let's see if this will work. If I'm in the right place. But adding that Mossy Meadow to the Lost Lagoon just stepped this up quite a bit. And that's what we can do with those Stampin' Write markers. So, they've had the markers. I may have been a demonstrator for 24 years, a customer before that, and I had them before I was so I've had them for at least a quarter of a century. So this is a change. This is definitely a change. All right. Oh, Miss Patricia's here. And so then I have another plate number 3. Now let's place it on there. If you scoot it on, probably going to scoot the dies. Okay. We've got some more die cutting to do because we have our envelope, the seed packet. And we'll see how well I did. Hey, I am pleased. Okay, good. Right back on my magnet card. And, well, I'll be doggone. I had them ready to go in case I messed up. You know what? If I don't have them ready to go, then I definitely will mess up. So it's all good. And so I chose this pattern. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, and so then, and they're in 6x6 sheets, which are just perfect for this. I mean, I could trim it down a little bit, but what am I going to have left? A little strip. So this is perfect. I didn't tell you, that rough edge, that's the cutting edge. You place that right down. Fantastic. Back with plate number 3. Let's crank this through. Okay, so while I'm just die cutting, we have the 25-27 in color sale for August. And, a lot of my sweet stampers, and I'm not throwing stone because I'm one of them, why do today what I can put off till tomorrow, haven't taken advantage of it yet. They're probably just waiting like, oh, I have till August 31st. That's less than a week. So I'm going to encourage you to get on over to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com, take advantage of that in color sale. Okay, and so then remember we stamped that, we'll be using this. And then we want my closures, and I'll show you how to do that. And that's what this is. So, and this is some Lost Lagoon cardstock, our crumb cake cardstock. And I didn't stamp that quite as straight, but that's okay because I can just put the die not on quite so straight. All right, let's let it find, there we go, some magnets. And Miss Kim is here. Fantastic. Okay. I think that's looking pretty good. All right, and then plate number 3. And we'll have all of our die cutting done. Go ahead and crank this through too. Beautiful, beautiful stamp set and dies. And like I said, at 20% off for the stamp set in low inventory. So that could go anytime. And oh, there we go. See, isn't that cool? So, just move the die and now it's straight. Right back on my magnet card. And let's take your pick tool and get this out of here before it falls on the floor and hits my glass mat and makes a ton of noise. And these little poke out holes. There we go. And so then I'm turning these over because I want to put adhesive on the back side. And all right, and right back on here. We are done with these. Fantastic. All right, so while I have these, let's go ahead and take some multi-purpose liquid glue and to try to get adhesive on there, my Stampin' Seal, where this is really cool. Liquid glue and me, we make a hot mess together, but I'm going to set that aside, and when that white turns translucent, I will have a great hold, but it won't be squirting out all over the place. That is one of my favorite things. So here are all the elements we just stamped and die cut that. We are ready to put this bad boy together. All right, so I'm going to use my bone folder and give this good crisp fold. There we go. And this bottom, so it doesn't just die cut it, it scores us to it as well. Die cuts and scores for us, which is really clever, isn't it? That it somehow is able to put a crease in it without cutting all the way through. And so you want this at the bottom. So, I made 4 of these today. And so I decided it didn't matter which way it went, but I decided which looked the best. And I think that looks the nicest. So I am going to use tear and tape adhesive to put this all together. Oh, Miss Patricia loves this paper and the stamp set and dies. It's just a beautiful combination. Okay, there we go. So this tear and tape adhesive is stinking cool. It can handle pressure of the boxes, but I'm finding I'm loving it. It's just such a good hold that I'm using it for embossing, embossed from the embossing folders. All right, so we'll take this. There we go. And then our little flap. And so it's literally tear. You just tear it. I don't have to slow down and trim it oh so carefully with scissors. It just tears off that nicely. Super strong hold. It's becoming a top favorite of mine, that's for sure. And then I didn't explain. I sit there and press on it because I assume that if it has a good hold to the paper, it's going to make the backing easier to come off. There we go. And I went a little over the edge. And so there is our seed packet. How sweet is this? All right, I couldn't find any gift cards. So I measured, this is the size of a gift card. Look at that. Perfect, perfect gift card holder. I mean, you could actually put seeds in it or whatever else, but perfect gift card holder. And so as we were talking, like, oh my goodness. I mean, it's getting to be that season. I know, but it's getting to be Christmas, time to be thinking about Christmas. And and we do give a lot of gift cards, and we've got some beautiful paper, designer series paper. And speaking of that, my share, I've had that advertised for a while, and so you can find that um, on my blog, my paper share for the new mini catalog. Okay, so now we have, and we'll come back with our stamp. Now, I'm going to go right back into the Lost Lagoon, but if you remember, I used my Stampin' Write marker. So I've got some Mossy Meadow on here. Yeah, we don't want to go into there and get Mossy Meadow on my pad and compromise it. So what I have here is my Stampin' Scrub. And you use the Stampin' Scrub with the red rubber stamps with the Stampin' Mist. And I got thinking about that today. I thought, oh my goodness, if we don't have red rubber, I fully expect this will retire and the Stampin' Mist with it. But you have your red rubber stamps that you'll have. So you're going to start stocking up on this. It's not on the last chance list yet, but once red rubber stamps are retired, well, why would we keep this? I mean, Stampin' Up! Hasn't said anything. It's just going, because you use the Simply Chamois with a photopolymer. So on this side, it has the raindrops, and that's where you spray your mist, and then over here, you dry it and get off any residual ink, like the guys seem to do on our hand towels, right? Residual dirt after rinsing. Okay, so now I'm ready to go back into my pad because I won't compromise it with two different colors. So that's just a heads up. Think ahead. I would stock up on that Stampin' Mist because that is good stuff. It cleans and conditions your red rubber stamps. All right, so let's ink this up again. There we go. And then back with our Mossy Metal Stampin' Write marker. Oh, Miss Danette, well, honey, it just kind of makes sense. Like I said, there's nothing official, but yeah. All right. And so that was drying a little bit, so let's just go ahead and huff. And then I want to stamp this right in the center, straight up and down. And then I've got some of that old olive again in here with that. And it just adds a lot to it. I wish I hadn't thrown it away that I had. Oh, maybe it's right here. Here we go. This one was just in Lost Lagoon and very pretty. But then when I added the Mossy Meadow, it just really stepped this up. So we've learned not to go close to the camera, but see if I can bring the camera closer. So I'm really pleased with that. Very, very pleased. Okay, so what we're going to do is use some Stampin' Seal. You know what? I can still come in a little closer for you. And I put my finger where it's a little opaque. Most of the time, I have to help it. Oh, you know what? I'm at the end. Oh, I have a little bit more. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. And this comes over here, a little off center. So you got a nice big spray. Fantastic. And then, you know, when we go to close this, I thought, oh, that's going to get moved around a lot. Oh, thank you, Miss Danette. Oh, Miss Bonnie B is here. Aw, thank you. And she's given it a thumbs up and a share. So, I thought, you know what? I'm going to use the tear and tape adhesive because, gift cards be slid in and out and, it'll get puckered. Why not give it a really, really good hold? And that's what the tear and tape does. And, all right, I went off that edge a little bit. Let's just tear this before I do it. Okay. Yeah, so, I completely agree that I expect it will retire. Like I said, haven't heard it from the horse's mouth, but if we're retiring Stampin' Write markers because they're used with the red rubber almost exclusively, just stands to reason. Okay, so I want to close that so I can see better, so I make sure I get it all good and centered. There we go. And let me show you. Okay, so those are almost translucent. Let's do this. That one's translucent. So our closure thing, really cool. And then right here, very, very nice. So, okay, so now how in the world are we going to do this? This worked out really well. I take your pick tool. I mean, I don't know what I would do without this anymore. I just love this thing. So this one was super easy, right? Poke through right here. Whoops. There we go. Poke that through. And by my second or third one, it's like, oh, because I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to do this on camera. I'll be but so I shouldn't say too much, but I expect it to be okay. Miss Cheryl, I know the plaid paper's beautiful. And this, my finger is holding it up. I'm not silly enough to put my finger behind there to poke. I'm just holding it up because I don't want to go through the center. There we go. Through both pieces. So I need a decent hole. And there we go. We've hopefully got it. So, and then I've got linen thread. So unless I tell you differently, everything I'm using is available to order in my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com. That includes the tear and tape adhesive, the multi-purpose liquid glue, of course, the stamp set and the dies and the ink pads and the Stampin' Mist and everything. The only thing I've used this evening was the magnetic platform and the magnet cards and storage pockets. Everything else available to order in my online store. So I start with this one because I want to be able to go through the be able to go straight through. Here I can see to feed it in. So much easier. I was really concerned about doing that, and if you poke the take your pick tool, again available to order in my online store, you get those decent holes, and that was just routing it out a little bit. No problem doing these. Oh, and I need that again. All right, so let's do this. This is just so sweet, this part. I mean, that's the finishing touch, right? For our seed packets, which are secretly a gift card holder. People are going to think you are so stinking clever. And then with that frame that comes with it that we just used, you could put anything you want inside of it for Christmas. And you don't have to do that. You could just die cut a label or whatever else you want. But if you want to use that label, but isn't that just the sweetest? Okay, so now we have this, and we need some Stampin' Dimensionals. One of my favorite adhesive ever. And this, and this. And I can't wait to show you the other ones as well. Okay, and this goes about right there. See the stem. Make sure that's centered. Fantastic. And then we need some more of the linen thread to make a sweet little bow. And then on their sample, they didn't add more embellishments, but I did. And so we've got a little bit more to do, and then I'll show you those others. Okay. That linen thread ties so nicely, doesn't it? We don't want a huge bow, so we will bring these down. Our little loops. Okay. Trim, trim. And I want this right here. So to hold that, we're going to use a mini glue dot. Well, thank you, Miss Sherry. Yeah, I am just so pleased with this. Now I want to give everybody gift cards for Christmas. All right, so I've got my mini glue dots, and this is not a huge knot, so trying not to touch it. But I want to get that smaller. About right there. Stick that in it. And at this point, it's a good idea to touch it to take away the stickiness, right? In their sample, they had the tail going each way. Okay, mine wants to go like this, which does make me happy. All right, and we could trim that down just a little bit more. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Isn't this easy? Like I said, my big concern was that, and that turned out to be so stinking easy. All right, so then what I have to finish this, I have the low profile dots. Well, these are 15% off through the end of August because this is actually cloud cover, but the cloud cover works really well. And I've got a partial packet here because that was part of my paper share and more, so the paper share is all the designer series papers and specialty papers, and then the and more are all the accessories, so you can do either or. So this cloud cover is looking really good with this Lost Lagoon, and this is Mossy Meadow, so this just worked out so well. So you see I'm pressing down because I want the adhesive to stick to the embellishment and not the acetate sheet, so a little contrast there. And then, so there, with that in color sale, things are on sale that will just surprise you because it also includes card kits and DSP and embellishments. I mean, virtually everything, if it has an in color in it, is on sale, but only through Sunday, August 31st. Well, thank you, Miss Danette. So adorable as all get out. You're on my mind. Aw, too cute. So, okay, so here was my first one. See how my tails went different directions. And oh, this one I need to show you. So that thanks so much. Well, that is from the thanks so much for your love and care. Well, okay, that's another time when the Stampin' Write markers come in so handy because this is pretty tight. And so the Stampin' Write markers we've always used for the technique called omitting. And it's called omitting because we're going to omit part of the image. So I've always used the brush side instead of the tip. I didn't want to wear my tip out, and this colors it in really well. So I'm omitting the other words from there so it'll fit in my label die for my seed packet. And thanks so much is just exactly what I want. So I've colored that in. It's a dye ink, so it dries quickly, water-based, so you huff to put the moisture back in. And then when you stamp, I get just the thanks so much. Another reason to want to have the Stampin' Write markers, and right now, like I said, they're on the last chance list, so they can disappear without any notice. And see, to fit that label die, I had to eliminate that. Isn't that sweet? Oh, and these are the flower accents in there. And so we've got the rosemary. And this one was stamped right on it. Isn't that cute? The label stamp, or the frame stamp, I should say. Well, I guess it's a label too. Stamped right on there. And then the time stamped in, that's in crumb cake with crumb cake on there. Everything else is mossy meadow. And then those flower accents, just a nice little touch. And close this one with mossy meadow to keep it oh so coordinated. Okay. And then, well, this one they showed, there we go, just the back, because they wanted you to be able to see it. And I thought, well, I need to finish it. And we hadn't used the basil yet. So I stamped it in Lost Lagoon. And then, on the bottom, the whole thing is stamped. And then right over top, stamped and die cut the basil in Mossy Meadow. And then here again, we have those muted palette dots that are 15% off. So that cloud cover really is good, isn't it? With the Lost Lagoon, and that's probably actually Misty Moonlight. Yep. So the cloud cover and Misty Moonlight, very nice together. Oh, yes, Miss. Oh, thank you, Miss Adelaide. And then this, and I had to look, and so this is in Mossy Meadow, but stamped off 3 times to duplicate theirs. It's stamped on that background, that Grown with Love and Crumb Cake. And then they used 4. I know, Grandma said odd numbers, but it really is pretty sweet, isn't it? So, and then closed it up with the crumb cake, little closures, and the linen thread. And so aren't these just the sweetest thing ever? Oh my gracious. And that's with that Grown with Love. We're not going to say bundle. Stamp set, 20% off. Dies, 40%. Please order those separately and hurry on over to my online store because the Grown with Love stamp set is in low inventory. And so, oh, just so sweet. You can just hardly stand it. Now I know you're thinking about Christmas. Well, thank you, Miss Patricia. So, all but that one I copied from there, and this one I added the embellishments. They didn't do that. And this, well, was just the back. So if you go over and look at it, you'll see the samples and go, oh, that's what those were. And it's pretty cool stamped right on there. But I have to admit, I really do like the label, right? That is pretty stinking sweet. So this month, huge that we added so many products to the last chance list, and you're seeing just 2 of them. Like, oh my goodness. And the timeless plaid paper, that's an online exclusive. So you won't find it in the catalog. So you'll have to look for the timeless plaid. Well, thank you, Miss Cheryl. And the link is under the video if you're on YouTube or my Stamping Smiles blog to be able to pick that up to make it even easier for you. And of course, this Grow with Love had been and still is an online exclusive, but now it's a last chance product. So the in color sale, muted dots, as well as a lot of other in color products, the 2527. Whew. There's a lot going on this month, and this month is running out. We only have 5 more days. Okay, so let's do a couple things. And I want to be able to see you for a minute. Okay, there we go. Now I can put the chat up here so I can see if anybody has anything. Oh, I got to bring me back first. There we go. There I am. Okay, now the chat. Fantastic. So I'm so glad you ordered me. Yep. Yep. Christmas cards are just a coming. Oh, Miss Sharon. Oh, you just found me. Okay. Well, I'm so glad you found me. I'm here. You know what? And speaking of that, I am here every Thursday. Oh, for Peter's sakes, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then you just never know when I'm going to show up in between those Tuesday evening live card making tutorials, or in this case, this evening, gift card holders. Paper crafting, mostly cards. And so make sure you hit the subscribe button, because whenever I'm going live, I mean, Thursday and Friday, you didn't get a lot of notice, but you got some notice. And even if you couldn't catch it live, at least you knew I did a video. Well, thank you, Miss Rhonda. And so hit that subscribe button, And so you can get notified whenever I upload a video or whenever I'm going live. And I just love when you come join me and visit. Thank you, Miss Adelaide. Yeah, great, great, great stamp set and dies. And I mean, they're adorable as they are, but of course, how can we not start thinking about Christmas and all the gift cards that we give? So life is good. All right, so recap. In color sale ending. Last chance. I mean, they might not even be here by August 31st. So you want to get on over to my online store, www.shopwithshelly.com, and grab the stamp set at 20% off and the dies at 40% off. Okay, so oh, Miss Nancy. Yeah, and the little closures, now that you've seen how easy they are to do, no fingers poked. It was really easy with the Take Your Pick tool. And so I just highly recommend this, and I hope you give that last chance list a really good look because not everything, but most things once they get over there, can be discounted, and so I always want you to get it before it ends up at 4 times the price on eBay. So check out that last chance list, and if you're not good at looking at the online exclusives, you're probably going to see some things you hadn't seen before. And then also check out the online exclusives while you're there. And that link is also under the video if you're on YouTube or my blog. So you know what? It is. I don't see any new questions. It's that time of evening. Can you believe it? We're already there. That was just so much fun. And it's time for me to thank you again for joining me for my Tuesday evening live card making tutorial. I'm Shelley Godby, teaching you how to create hand stamped smiles. Good evening